Hey, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for the power issues this morning. So, going to knock out a quick video to cover what we're going to cover in our accelerated retirement brief, but could not. Make sure you get your Maverick Mind on with getmaverickmind.com. That's also where our merch is. A lot of folks have asked to get a challenge coin. So, we uploaded the challenge coins on there, but all our merch is on the page here. We got the OG, the original hat. AJ Buckley wore it on SEAL Team this past season. And then we obviously have our Maverick Mind merch as well. We have a black hat too. It's just we just have a picture of the white one, but you can order a black or white hat with the Maverick Mind logo. And obviously our healing supplements are on this page as well. I take my morning brief, man, 5 days on. 2 days off. I usually take the weekends off, and it sets me up for success. And I sleep like a baby. I take a night duty about an hour before bed. So getmaverickmind.com. Cool announcement, man. You can get paid. We're gonna start paying you back if you refer somebody who signs up. We're gonna reward you, man. So we have an affiliate program. I'll send this link out. I'll put it in the email. I'll put it in our lifetime group and our hunters group and everything like that. But get paid. Sign up to be an affiliate, man. Tier 1, if you refer up to 3 customers, 5% of that first purchase. Tier 2, if you refer 3 to 10 customers, 8. And then if you invite a lot of folks, we'll give you 10%. Folks, any lifetime referral. If you refer anybody for a lifetime membership, $500 back into your pocket. So somebody reached out recently, like, hey, I think I can, bring a lot of new members. A lot of you would do that out of the kindness of your heart in the old days, but you know what? I get it. I appreciate you spreading the love for free, but somebody reached out and said, hey, do you have an affiliate program? I said, all right, you know what? Why not? So we pay for performance. So refer new traders, get rewarded, man. You can be a flight lead and become a TOPGUN Options affiliate today. So I'll make sure I share that link. Did you see this yesterday in the news? 2 Chinese nationals arrested, charged, conspiracy and smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the U.S. for their work at a University of Michigan lab. Did you see this? 2 citizens from the PRC, the People's Republic of China, a highly dangerous fungus, ladies and gentlemen. It is classified as a potential agro-terrorism weapon. I'm going to pause because I want that to sink in. My God, these universities, folks, from Harvard to Michigan, these are breeding grounds for Chinese spies. These people were caught. Do you want to just kind of maybe take a couple moments to think about how many are not caught? And folks, these were researchers. They were PRC agents, of course, but 10, 20, 15 million people have flooded into the United States from God knows where, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden and Democrats have destroyed the national security of this country. It's an absolute disgrace. It was treason in the highest order, ladies and gentlemen, to get voters in here. Still don't know what's going on with the Iran nuke deal, if it turns into the JCPOA, but Trump does it, I will take an absolute flamethrower to it. The guy ripped Barack Hussein Obama for a similar deal. Don't know what's going to go on. But yesterday in the primary brief, we put on what? A trudge out to the middle of July, 45 days out into the future. We put on a trudge, folks. Get your trudge on now. This is a double top. I get the S&P's kind of hovering up here right now. I have no idea why the S&P's hovering up here, especially because what? Did you see what the president said this morning? He was ripping Xi Jinping, ladies and gentlemen, right? We'll get to that in a second. Let me clean up the Ukraine stuff. Still, the dust is settling from this. I can't believe Vladimir Putin hasn't leveled Kyiv with like a tactical nuke or just gone completely apeshit. I don't know why. Okay? But let me move on from that to get to this point. General Mike Flynn, man, great American, good dude, was destroyed, by Democrats. He is saying, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a distinct possibility that the White House is saying Trump had absolutely no clue about the Ukraine attack deep inside Russia. He also had no clue about the bridge explosion. General Flynn this morning tweeted out, because he's not being told. So while I believe, because you heard me yesterday, folks, in the brief, I'm like, there is zero. So either our intel agencies completely suck. We missed October 7th. We missed this. Either they suck or we knew about it and didn't tell the commander in chief. There is a cabal of people, neocons, neolibs, whoever they are, folks, who want to drag us into a war. The MIC, folks, the military-industrial complex, is a thing. So General Flynn tweeted this morning, he's like, I'm going to have more info shortly. Let me pull this up. I don't know why it auto-closed here. Flynn. He said, I'm going to come out with stuff. He is saying that people are not telling the president. So where is it? Right here. Let me move this over to here, folks, because I wanted this right there. Attention, I do not believe that the recent escalation against Russia's strategic bomber fleet was authorized by President Trump. Rather, it is my view that the deep state is now acting outside the control of our elected leadership of our nation. Wow. I believe that these persons inside, some outside, are engaged in a deliberate effort to provoke Russia into a major confrontation with the West, including the U.S. Whoa. This sounds entirely believable to me. Elon Musk calls the Trump mega bill a disgusting abomination. I am Team Eli. First of all, Mr. President, you don't call a massive spending bill big, right? Big, beautiful bill, the BBB. I remember the last BBB, Build Back Better under Joe Biden. It was a disgrace. It was an abomination. Massive blowout spending driving us deeper in the debt. I did not vote for this. I completely agree with Elon Musk. And then, folks, the left wing and the right wing are part of the same body. Okay? And it's a disgrace. We, the people, voted in, or at least I did, for change, to gut this stuff, to gut spending, to save our country, and we're not. The Republicans, I hope, get absolutely shellacked in the midterms. They deserve it. Rand Paul, I mean, there are some men and women trying to save this country from fiscal Armageddon, and they're getting attacked. It's an absolute disgrace. And then yesterday, the White House is going to send like a 9-point whatever recession bill. We're going to try and cut some PBS and, whatever, NPR. Seriously? 9 whatever billion? I can find that in my government couch, ladies and gentlemen. Gut the spending. Stop it. Did you see Ray Dalio on CNBC this morning? He's like, we are in so much trouble. It's over with, folks. It was a game of musical chairs. I get it. Is Trump going to be the one left when the music turns off? We're broke, folks. We're bankrupt, and we're getting deeper. Nobody seems to give a shit. 1 million seconds ago was May 23rd. 1 billion seconds ago was 1993. 1 trillion seconds ago was 30,000 BC. Guess what? To put that into perspective, folks, our national debt is rising $1 trillion every year? No, every half a year. I'm sick over this big, beautiful bill. It's a disgrace. I do not support it. What's that got to do with trading? Everything, folks. Do we wake up one day and turn into Russia? Where's the Excel sheet? Well, it's right here. Hit 0 and just zero out. We're starting over again. Then the U.S. dollar is not worth it's not worth the paper it's printed on right now, but at least we kind of all wink and smile. Oh, it's backed by a military and highways and America. We're broke. It's a joke. This spending bill's a joke. Republicans are a joke. Democrats are clearly a joke. It's awful. So let me get to why I'm wondering why the S&P 500's up. Did you not see the president take a flamethrower this morning? China's Xi, extremely hard to make a deal with. I don't see a deal. Whoa, 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports take effect. I don't think the market is paying attention to what the president said. We popped through a little bit of a double top, but man, I do not feel that we are in a good place. Did you see the ADP print this morning? Holy crap. We pointed this out yesterday. I'm like, hey, the ADP number is forecasting an increase in jobs. And then I scrolled down to Friday and said, well, that's weird. Very rarely do you see the ADP and the government non-farm payroll estimates. So Friday's estimate is what? 177 last month. We're looking for 132. So they're looking for a pullback. ADP was looking for an increase. And we got shellacked. It was 60. They were forecasting 111. We got shellacked with the ADP numbers, folks. Soon as the ADP numbers came out, what did Trump do? Too late, Jerome. He took a flamethrower after he flamethrowered G. He took a flamethrower to Powell. This is the weakest ADP print in over 2 years. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is bad. Folks, this was a 5 sigma miss. that holy outlier, Batman. I can dig into it. I'm not going to get too much into it because you can look into it on your own. It sucked. ADP number out. Too late, Powell must lower rates. He is unbelievable. Europe has lowered 9 times. Folks, I remember the most recent couple, Fed press conferences, man. He more or less said, we're going to wait until something breaks to act. We talked the other day about the Fed's inflation indicator as at a 4-year low, and then obviously the Atlanta Fed increasing their GDP forecast. But folks, this isn't good. We're really seeing conflicting data here. Macroeconomic data. We're going to talk about the defense stocks in a couple minutes. We're going to look at a new synthetic stock position on Raytheon because even though I can't stand the MIC, remember, I'm bipolar, folks, and so am I. I'm going to be Gordon Gekko. Greed is good. I'm going to teach you how to print money. Then I'm Wiz. I want peace. I don't like war. I don't like death, destruction. I don't like seeing young men on either side, any side, being turned into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. This is not why we are on this planet. God weeps. Now, I'm going to show you how to make money off of that. Trust me, I stay centered with my, shameless plug, Maverick Mind. Great article in the Journal the other day about this. America let its military industrial might wither. China is booming. Oh boy. So my brother, Raisin Kane, I know the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I was in business with Raisin. He's an incredible American. Congrats, my brother, Raisin. Put on his 4th star, and he is now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I made a mistake, man. Like a month or 2 before he got picked by Trump to be the Joint Chiefs of Staff, I had an email ready to go to him. I'm like, hey, bro, check it back in. Would love you to join the board of the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. And then, boom. It sat in my inbox, and I'm like, I forgot to send that. And now, well, maybe when he retires, I'll get him back on our board. Not happy with the president with this. Folks, 3 months ago, I called this out. Donald Trump is breaking the law. The law as written with the TikTok thing, it says nowhere in here he could do what he did 90 days ago. Well, I'm going to do a 90-day pause. What are you talking about? Only if there was an absolutely interested buyer can you get a little bit of time. There was 0. And TikTok, the Chinese were saying, yeah, both on you. Now look, people close to the White House tell me that they're going to do another 90-day extension. This is a violation of U.S. law. I'd call Joe Biden out on it. I call Donald Trump out on it. I am not a raging partisan, folks. If you only call out the other side and never your side, you're what's wrong with this country. Donald Trump, you are breaking the law with TikTok. Shut it down. Fuck the Chinese. What are you doing, man? Anyway, we'll get tactical in a couple seconds here. Anthropic CEO, folks, I covered this yesterday. Are you paying attention to this? AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike in employment to 10 and 20 with the next 5 years. I want that to sink in. Governments and companies need to stop sugarcoating what they know is coming. The only people speaking about positive about AI are the ones I don't trust. Bill Gates. Oh, AI is going to be awesome. Elon Musk. AI is going to kill us all. Who do you believe out of Bill Gates and Elon Musk? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not absolutely terrified of AI, you're an idiot. This is going to end humanity. I already briefed you on the AI the other day that when it was ordered to shut itself down, tried to blackmail. Oh, I know you're cheating on your wife, so I'm going to send out some emails to all your friends. What? Did you hear this? AI is learning to escape here. I need to bookmark this in my TGO folders. So when I'm living up in a mountain in Colorado, off the grid, I gave you homework the other day. Did you watch the movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp? Transcendence. Go watch the movie with Johnny Depp. Also watch Ex Machina. EX Machina. Machina. If you haven't watched those two movies, give me 50 push-ups. I mean, this is great. I mean, Meta's signing a nuke power deal. Why? For AI. And when there's not enough nuke power to power AI, that's when you're going to be put in a pod, like the Matrix. Wake up, people. Psychedelic drug developers redesign trials to avoid Lykos faux pas. I love this article. If you're not bullish on the psychedelic stocks, you are missing out, ladies and gentlemen. Companies trying to navigate the psychedelic drug trial playing field face a variety of complications. Guess what? I called in August. What did I call when the FDA AdCom, the advisory committee, booted MDMA? First of all, they were all tied to Big Pharma. It's all come out. But anyway, a successful failure. Because MindMed, Cybe, and Atai, all the CEOs immediately around that time gave updates on what they were doing and said what? No psychotherapy. Because Rick Doblin and Lykos were all like, hey, MDMA coupled with laying on a couch and talking to people can save lives. The FDA's like, what are you talking about laying on the couch? I have no idea what any of that means. I am a drug agency, not a lay on the couch agency. Denied. So the successful failure means we got all the lessons learned from those failures, and MindMed, Atai, Compass, all these other companies are saying what? Cybin, I'm sorry. Boom. I love this. Doug Drysdale, the CEO of Cybin. Unfortunately, they, Lykos, paid the price for being first, and they learned. The regulators learned with them. The regulators asked them to do something, and most of it they did, but some they did not. Fortunately for us, however, this is where it pays to be a follower. Bringing second or third space gives us the opportunity to learn from that rejection. I shared this article with you. You have got to read this. They talk about MindMed. The MindMed guy comes out and says, hey, man, absolutely no couch. And we are seeing incredible results with our MM120. Okay? Now, this is what I need to brief you on. So Matt Zorn he used to sue the government for sills. He was a thorn in the government's side about psychedelics. What did they do? What did Robert Kennedy do? Hired him. I want you to be the deputy general counsel at HHS. So Matt Zorn, the government's former adversary, is now the psychedelic czar. Do you remember what happened 3 weeks ago? The FDA commissioner said psychedelics, the FDA disproved MDMA in August, Wiz. New FDA, baby. Out with the old, in with the new. The new FDA commissioner said psychedelics, highest priority in the Trump administration. Holy shit, did you hear that? Now I'm going to tell you right now what I did and what I am hearing. Go out and buy MindMed calls. I put this alert out last week. They're up 36%. They were up $1,000 the other day. Look at MindMed, ladies and gentlemen. Wiz, why are you saying to buy MindMed? Look at what I told you last week. Right here, I said buy MindMed, and it is ripped. It ripped from 625 We got as high as back here, we got all the way up to here. It was up $1,000. These calls. Ladies and gentlemen, what have I heard? I would go by the September at the money calls, the slightly out of the money calls, the 8s. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Why? I am hearing that the FDA reached out to MindMed last week. Sit up straight and listen to me. The FDA don't reach out unless it's horrifically bad. They sit there on their throne at their desk waiting for you to put stuff into their inbox. I heard that the FDA reached out to MindMed and said, how things going? Do you need any help? How can we move this stuff along? Can we help you in your trials? Holy shit, my phone blew up. Did you hear what I just said to you? So the people I'm hearing up in DC and flying around this space are saying this is absolute insanity that the FDA reached out to individual company and said, what do you need? When's your MM120? How's it looking? We're looking at our watch here. You good? Let's go. So I went out 1, 2, 3 months into the future. That's 90 days, folks. In my personal opinion, in the next 30, 60, 90 days, we're going to hear some phenomenal news with MindMed. Let me be clear. I can be 1,000% wrong. Distinct possibility. I don't believe so, or I wouldn't place a trade. So, but if you want to give your, more time to work, go out to Jan. Go out to Jan of 26, or Jan of 27. You can go all the way out into the super future. Me, in what I'm feeling, you guys know my story, man. I was up in D.C. I met the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I was at the National Press Club for the Federal Summit on Psychedelic Medicine. We're moving. Secretary Collins looked me in the eyes and said, Wiz, if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be us, and it's going to be now. Now, of course, now in government terms can mean years, but I don't feel that, right? To the Biden administration, the definition of transitory, right? Inflation's transitory was years. I don't feel this with the Trump administration, man. I feel like they move. So there is my commit criteria for buying these calls. I personally load the boat with MindMed calls. Couple months, 2, 3, I went 3 months out into the future. That's me. I'm not a registered investment advisor. I'm not a broker dealer. I don't play either of those roles on TV. I'm telling you what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want, man. On the other side of this computer screen in your robe and your bunny slippers, drinking your coffee, do whatever you want. I'm just sharing as your flight instructor what I am hearing. I have been in this space for 4-year anniversary of the medicine last month, but before that, I was obviously looking into this before I went and did the medicine. So I have never been more bullish. Now, obviously in 2022, I was early. Went to the Benzinga Psychedelic Capital Conference, and I left that pretty bullish. And then what happened in 2022? Bear market under Joe Biden that apparently the liberal media has forgotten about. They only cared about the recent implosion. By October of 2022, folks, the S&P 500 was down 25%. Everybody got shellacked, not just the psychedelic stocks, folks, everybody. But this is a new dawn. And Donald Trump has proven he can get a couple, rip your face off rallies with his cell phone. I'd be a buyer of stocks here. The last 2 times he said that, the market ripped. The last time he said that around COVID, I made $750,000 with a single trade. Stocks are looking good here. I'd be a buyer of stocks. I took the other side of that trade, and the next day when the market was open, the Dow went down 3,000 points at the open. I made $750,000. It's in my book, in the blink of an eye. It was fantastic. You want to talk about, it was a big, beautiful trade. All right, folks, Raytheon. Absolutely long-term bullish on Raytheon. I will remind my current members I failed. Why? Because I have a soul. Old Wiz on October 7th of 2023 would have bought Raytheon with both hands. If I had done that, or at least I had told you to do it, you would have made 94%. Why? because on October 8th, the stock hasn't looked back. I'm sad to talk about this trade, but again, I have to put Wiz, spiritual anti-war Wiz over here and replace him with Gordon Gecko Wiz. Okay, so if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm teaching you how to potentially make money. Let's do synthetic stock. I've done a couple of these. Well, Wiz, hold on. Whoa. It's kind of having a rally here. Shouldn't I wait for it to pull back? How do you know it's going to pull back? How do you know it ain't going to not look back? We got war in Europe, folks, that just got worse. We got war coming with Iran and Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, Iran will never get a nuke. Iran, we're going to get a nuke and wipe Israel off the face of the planet. Trump, I want a big, beautiful deal right in the middle. You ain't going to get it with those two sides, Donald. There will be war in the Middle East. And finally, and I don't want this to happen, in the next 2 years, China will move against Taiwan. I don't know if we're getting Saving Private Ryan type of invasion or just a blockade of the island. They will do it. I guarantee you. How can you do that? Because I listened to Xi Jinping 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was, when he gave his admirals and generals in the PLA a date. Google it. Do your own research. He said, you will be able to invade Taiwan by 2027. Okay? There is your commit criteria. If you wanted to buy, Wiz, I'll just buy 100 shares of Raytheon today. Do you have 13? Let's just round up. Do you have 14 grand? No. Buying stock is for chumps. Okay? I'm going to show you, so let's remember 14 grand. I'm going to show you how to control 100 shares of Raytheon at a discount all the way out to, let's do it, January of 2027. That's 590 days into the future. Why that far into the future? I want to give this bullish trade on Raytheon as much time to work up and to the right. So we're going to get long-term bullish on Raytheon, and then we're going to trade the front months. What are the front months? You're sitting in the front month. June, July, those are called the front months. This is the back month. We're going to look at Elite. So Raytheon is at 138.14 right now. Let's go down and look at the strikes. There's a 135 and there's a 140. There's no 138. So for me, the tie goes to the runner. I'll go in the money a little bit. So we could buy one Jan 27 135 call. When I buy a single call, folks, I am controlling 100 shares of that stock for the next year and a half. Right? Or 2 years, whatever it is. Out to January 2027. Is that costing me 14 grand? No, $2,100. That's why stocks are for chumps. Okay? Buy the call option. You only spent, I just saved you $12,000. Now, I'm going to get even better here. Real quick reminder, when you buy a call option, you're bullish. Buying that call option, I think Raytheon's going to go up. Somebody's on the other side of this trade. That's a seller. When you sell an option, you're bearish. Buy an option, bullish. Sell an option, bearish. Now, some of you know about puts. I've heard Wiz, if I think a stock's going to go down, I should buy some puts on it. Correct. Buying a put, bearish, but somebody's on the other side of that trade too. Selling a put means you're bullish. I don't think it's going to implode. Sell the put. So why don't I sell the same expiration and same strike put? Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, instead of $14,000, instead of, what was that, the last one, $2,100 just for the call option? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's $765. On your screen right now, if the picture comes up, there it is a tactic called synthetic stock. Wait, what's the word? What's synthetic stock mean? You don't get two things with synthetic stock. You don't own the shares, so you don't get what? A dividend. Ladies and gentlemen, look down here. It's a dividend of 1.98%. I can find that in my couch. I don't care about Raytheon's dividend. The other thing you don't get with synthetic stock is to vote. You're not a official shareholder. You don't own the shares, so you don't get to vote. Last time I checked, there's probably 1 trillion people on this planet that own probably a couple more shares than you of Raytheon, so your little vote's not going to matter. So the two things you don't get with synthetic stock, I don't care about. Now let's get back to synthetic stock. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of smart people just looked here first. Oh my God, Wiz, the max potential loss in this trade is 14 grand. Are you insane? Hey, Einstein, what's the max potential loss if you bought 100 shares of Raytheon just now for 14 grand? If you have to think about it, you're an idiot. The max risk is 14 grand, folks. The max risk of buying 100 shares, the max risk of synthetic stock is almost exactly the same. The stock can go to zero. What are the odds, the probability of maximum loss rate here of Raytheon going to zero? It's Mr. Blutarski's GPA in Animal House, 0.0. And I think there's 15 decimal points and a 1. The odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never zero. The odds of Raytheon going to zero are never zero, right? There is always, in God's universe, a possibility of something. So here's what I tend to do. I usually buy what I call a disaster put underneath it to help lower that risk. What do? I usually do it 20% under the current stock price. Why? Where'd you pick 20? You ever hear, hey, the S&P is down 20% right now, it's in a bear market. Or Amazon's down 20% right now, the stock is in a bear market. I just picked 20%. Okay, you can do whatever you want. In some of my personal accounts, I don't need this disaster put, right? Some of you might need it for margin requirements, okay? So what's this? 14 and 14 is 28. 138 minus 28, what's that, 110? I'm doing public mental math and I suck at it. I'll just say it's the 110. If I'm off, you do the math. I'm going to buy a single Jan 27 110 put underneath it. Okay, now you probably noticed, wait, the cost of the trade went up. Of course it did. I'm buying insurance. Of course the price of the trade's going to go up. Okay, but look at what happened to the max potential loss. It was 14 grand, Wiz. 3,800 bucks. My call sign's Wiz not because I'm a wizard, but I just did some magic, didn't I? So if you bought 100 shares of Raytheon today, like an idiot, and the stock went to zero, you're out 14,000 bucks. If we did synthetic stock today, and God forbid the stock goes to zero in the next 2 years, you would only lose 3,800 bucks. Somebody again tell me why you would buy this stock? It makes absolutely 0 sense. I'm not done yet. So on your screen right now is synthetic stock with a protective put, but we could sell what's called a front month call against this position. Okay? Raytheon's on a nice gentle climb schedule, man. Look at that. But I don't know. Looks like 140. I could sell a front month. What's Friday's date? June 6th, D-Day. I could sell a 140 call. Puts on the brain. If I sold a single Friday call, I'm only bringing in 27 bucks. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the tactic. Every week, if Raytheon's on a tear, get out of the way. Don't sell short calls against it. Just enjoy your profits. But every week, folks, I could potentially bring in a little bit of scratch by selling this weekly call against the long-term position. Eventually, ladies and gentlemen, the trade is paid off. If you bought 100 shares of Raytheon today, there's 3 ways you make money. The buy, hope, and pray. You bought the stock, you hope it goes up. If it doesn't, you pray. Not me, baby. I can pay off this synthetic stock position by selling upside calls against it. Now, I want Raytheon to move up and to the right. Like I just said, maybe even with the way this is looking, I don't sell Friday's call. But I wanted to show you that is part of the tactic if you are so inclined. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a debit. This is a 1,300 debit, meaning You're never going to get filled at this bid, $12. You're never going to get filled at the mid. You're going to have to do what I call walking it on up. What does that mean? If you want to get filled immediately, you're going to get filled immediately at the ask, and you're going to be down. You're going to be losing trade money immediately when you get filled on this trade. I don't do that, man. I don't want this trade that bad. I'm cheap. I'm going to walk it on up. I would fire this trade at $12.97 and wait. Go get a cup of coffee, go for a walk around the neighborhood, come home. I'm not filled. Go up, I don't know, 10 cents. Why'd you pick 10 cents? I just said I don't know. 15 cents. Why'd you say 15? I don't know, man. What I'm getting at is there is a magical price point in between the mid and the ask where somebody on the other side is going to go, that's a fair price for that trade. I'll fill it. But folks, they ain't going to do that because they're a charity. Even if you find that magical, sweet, perfect price between the mid and the ask, you're going to get filled and it's going to be a little bit negative. I guarantee you. In 34 or 5, however many years of doing this, I don't think I've ever gotten filled. Maybe once I've gotten filled on a synthetic stock. Filled. Hey, I'm filled. And I go look at my positions and it's green. Because the instant I got filled, like maybe a half a second later, some good news happened or something happened and the stock went up a little bit. It's extremely rare, folks, to get filled on a synthetic stock and you're showing green. Do not expect it. If you're the type of trader, this is a 2-year, year-and-a-half trade, 2-year trade, folks. If you're the type of trader who presses fire and gets filled and it's red and you're going to freak the hell out, you're awful. Go put your money in a Folgers can and put it in your yard and do something else, right? This is a long-term bullish trade. Finally, and I know I'm going long, I'm sorry I said this would be a short video. Do not let Raytheon close above 140 by Friday. If between now and Friday, folks, Jesus returns and, you know what, I'm bored, I'm going to be the CEO of Raytheon, and the stock rips, you are on the hook to deliver 100 shares of Raytheon if it's above 140 by Friday. Okay? Do not let a short call expire in the money on Friday. You will, Saturday morning in your bunny slippers and your robe, drinking coffee, wake up negative 100 shares in your account. Why? Folks, sellers have obligations. Buyers have rights. When you sell this call, this 140 call out to Friday, you are obligated to deliver 100 shares at the 140. Now, if it expires 140 or below, 139.99 and below, nothing happens. You keep the money that you brought in. If it expires 140 and above, you're obligated to deliver 100 shares at 140. Okay? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you absolutely must watch your synthetic stock training in Options Weapons School. Right? Down here, OWS, Options Weapons School. Okay, scroll down, and it's session, click start watching, and then over here on the right, it's session 6. Oh, and by the way, I just added the sniper brief from yesterday. How to manage a sniper going against you. So session 7, added, value add for everybody, is how I do my sniper shots. And session 8 is like, hey, how am I going to manage them if they're going against me? So make sure you watch 7 and 8 as well if you're doing the S&P 500 trades. But synthetic stock is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this brief went way too long. My apologies. But that's the new position for the accelerated retirement folks. I'll put the screenshots on this page and the replay. Okay, and I'll send out the trade alert and the email in a couple minutes here. Okay, get your Maverick Mind on. Get maverickmind.com. I'm flying a jet unless the weather is crappy tomorrow. Up to Colorado. We're doing. It's a half a day to get up there, man. In this jet, it's got 400-mile legs ish, maybe 450. So got to stop for gas, stretch our legs, and get something to eat. And then I get back Monday night, I think. I'll still do the solo Amazon brief Monday morning at 10 because I'll be out. I don't leave until like 2 or something like that from Aspen. Okay? Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, if you want to be an affiliate, a TOPGUN Options affiliate, and sign up your family, your friends, posted, our links on social media to sign up for Full Throttles or solo Amazon briefs or whatever, I'm going to hook you up and get you paid. Okay. All right. I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on. Namaste. And go Cats. Fights on. We'll see you. Cheers.